Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Online Darts, the live lounge. It's not a Monday. It is late on Saturday night, but there is a very good reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, because the Grand Slam of Darts is coming up, and it's the only time we could fit it in. I'm Phill Bars, of course, joined by Jack Garwood and Jarleth and Gentlemen, good evening. It's been some day of darting action, shall we say?
Gob, you can go first, mate, because I'm still absolutely knackered.
Get me a beer. What a week. Not just a day, what a week. And it's not letting up, is it? Let's be honest. We're doing this now because of how hectic the next 10 days or so are as well. It's, yeah, hi, everyone.
Yeah, very warm welcome, everybody. Yes, indeed. It's not mental mania, it's mental mania at this point here in the darts, but a very warm welcome, everybody. Welcome to joining us on a day where there's been some controversy, a little bit of controversy that's happened today, which I'm sure we will talk about. No doubt you'll ask about it in the comments section. Definitely. But yeah, it's a busy old day. It's a busy old week. And of course, don't forget that at 9:30 tonight, we think the Grand Slam of Darts draw is going to be coming out. I suspect the draw's already happened, and certain members of the BDC are already trying to create the graphics. But we'll see where we go on that one. We will give you live reactions to the groups as it happens. We can't wait for it. Thank you so much for joining us very late on a Saturday night.
It is. But what a... Well, 6 days, because we had the Grand Slam qualifier as well. What 6 days of darts we've just seen from the Rico in Coventry. Plenty of talking points, that's for sure. Good day everyone in the chat room as well. Good day, gone very Aussie because we've got.
Are you an Aussie now?
Good day.
We got.
Never survive in Australia. We've had this heat conversation. Phill would never survive down under.
I'd love to see him on an Ashes tour. To be fair.
Bit of Barmy Army going on.
Up the John B. Sale.
Correct. And we've already got. Sorry, we're 2 minutes into the show. We are 2 minutes into the show, and
somebody said his name. Oh, why?
Because he opened up a shop, Eddie. That's what he was counting down to.
Lucky us.
He's newsworthy. So you know what? I'm surprised. I think next week what we should do is we should maybe have a sweepstake between us and see how long it takes for the B word to get mentioned.
No, it's
the B word.
Stop encouraging it. He who must not be named.
Love that. Of course, we're just going to let the chat room fill up as well. We're going to put it out on social media that we are now, of course, live as well.
Already done. Already done.
So see, we're just going to share that around. If you're there, please share the fact that we're live on social media as well. When's the Grand Slam draw? A couple of questions. Right, we believe it's going to be around 9:30. We're not 100% sure, but that's what we think. That's what the world of Twitter was telling us.
That's what Keith Ellis said.
Yes, we will see, but we'll come on to that. We're going to try and knock up a graphic on the fly whilst we go as well. All go here, which is rather good. But, gentlemen, I suppose we better dive deep into the action and see what actually happened over the last few days. So, first up,
where do we start? Where do we start?
Well, I suppose we should start at the beginning. Could help, and that is with day one of the Winter Series. Spoiler alert, your man there, Bully Boy, back in the winning circle after over 2 years without a PDC title. We'll come on to everything else in a minute, but just his reaction at the end was worth its weight in gold. How much it means to that man on our screen.
It's massive for him. I mean, let's not get carried away. It isn't the big TV event that he wants, and numerous people are picking up Pro Tours nowadays. But just for the self-belief that Michael Smith is still good enough to compete at the top level. And spoiler alert, the fact that he didn't just do it on the first day, the fact he did it on the second day and went a decent way into the third day as well without losing a game. I thought he was very good at the World Cup without being exceptional, and it's just massive for his confidence. Just a chance to go, there's a couple of titles, there's a little hit and a boost on his prize money, and just the mental lift that will give Bully Boy, that he is still a PDC title winner. He can still compete at the highest level. It is massive for him.
Yeah, totally agree. I think the thing for me about Bully Boy is that we've seen Phill, you and I have been in press rooms a little bit. God was obviously been there as well, and we've seen how much he's hurt losing those big titles, losing those World Championship finals, losing that match play final to Rob Cross, losing in a UK Open semi-final. We saw how much it's hurt him. And we know how much he wants to win that maiden TV title. Well, some people say he already has one. I mean, he doesn't say that, but some people say that he's got one from the Shanghai Darts Masters. But we know how much he wants to win this. And the fact that the emotion, 100%. I think that was the key for me. The fact is, I think it was the emotion more than anything after Dawson had spoken to him was the crucial thing for me. It was unbelievable to see just how much it means to someone being back in the winner's circle after a couple of years. The fact, by the way, that he's back in the winning circle after a couple of years, and more importantly than that, he's world number 4 currently without winning a TV title. That just shows you the consistency of the man. Can we say that now?
100%. No question there whatsoever. There's not even an argument, to be fair. Is floor form okay over the last year? Maybe not where he's wanted it, but before that, his European and floor form, which is what got him there. He was always in quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals. And that's where your staple is built, on the floor.
And the thing is as well, right, just thinking about this going ahead, because obviously
for about a decade and he's made 2 TV semi-finals.
Yeah,
so that's how you build to live it.
And you think about this though, right? With Bully Boy, the fact that he's world number 4 now, if he goes and does a big TV event, maybe let's say if he goes and wins the Slam or goes and wins the Players' Championship finals, go and get that monkey off his back. He's then covered half his money anyway from his Worlds run 2 years ago, which he's defending this time round because obviously he's defending the final. So if he manages to go and win, or maybe pick up a couple of semi-finals along the way to the Worlds, that I think will help his confidence. Because remember, if he doesn't go out, say first round or whatever before the Worlds, it means he's got to have a tremendous Worlds to keep in that top 4. And of course, keeping that top 4, you're guaranteed to be in the Prem.
Yeah, 100%. And the form he's in right now,
we can use the P word already as well.
Well,
the P word is
just a statement rather than a fact. Yeah, why not? We'll go with it. It's a Saturday night show. It's a late night live lounge. We can drop these bombs after the watershed.
We're past the watershed. Anything goes, guys. No, also on day 1 as well. Big shout out to Jermaine Mortamina, because this run to the final on day 1 sort of like come out of nowhere, because he's not had his best of years. He says that himself, but a real confidence booster for Jermaine after missing out on the World Cup and everything like that. To just get to the final on day 1 would have been a huge shot on the arm for him. And he played some damn good stuff across the day as well. Quarter-final beating Vincent van der Voort, 104 average. Semi-final, over 112 to beat Brendan Dolan. That's phenomenal darts.
Yeah, it's massive. And it's not a run that any of us really foresaw out of Jermaine. He's been in no form whatsoever. He didn't make the Dutch World Cup team, which is where he was last year. He just had a bit of a free-fall year, and that'd be massive for him as well. And he carried it for the rest of the week as well, all right? He didn't go on to make the same extent, but I still thought he performed pretty well and put himself in some good spots. So, again, this is the time of the year that you want to be gearing up, finding your best form. And if Jermaine can use this as a springboard going into the final couple of events, now's the time that you can pick up a lot of money on the TV.
100%. Absolutely 100%. Moving on to day number 2. We'll keep the graphic up there because it stayed the same. Michael Smith joining a very elite club of winning back-to-back Pro Tour titles. And he did it in one of the best Pro Tour finals I've seen against Jose de Souza. What a final.
Astonishingly good.
Yeah. just remarkable.
You think you go back to that one, right? You go back to that final in particular, because we'd seen both of them come through, by the way. Jose de Sousa just pinged a 110 average prior to that against Joe Cullen. And you got Michael Smith there against Vincent van der Voort in a really good game as well. By the way, Big Vincent, he's on a charge. I'm so gutted he's not on the slam, but he is on a charge. He's that boy. I love him.
Probably anyway.
I'm about to say, it's a shame because I wanted to see him at Bulldoze Coventry. And also as well, Brendan Dodo, I want to give a shout out across the 5 days as well for the way he played, because another quarter final for him. But this is the thing about this final in particular. The semi-final prior to that yesterday was Michael Smith against Joe Cullen, against Jose de Sousa. And in that game, Jose had a chance at 3-1 to go 3-1 up. Sorry, I think he was to go 4-1 up actually at 3-1, and he missed it. Bully Boy hit the most casual 180 you will ever see, and then goes and hits a 35 checkout to go and take the game back to 3-2. And I don't know whether that sort of stayed in Jose's head a little bit in that final, because even though the averages weren't great in terms of 96.7 plays 100, it felt more than that. Like, it was a really, really good final. I think the game turned for me in the 6th leg when Jose had scored really well, had a chance, left himself at tops after 12, and then blew 3 darts in order to try to win the leg. And Buddy Boy held a 65 with 21 dart holder throw. That for me was crucial. Again, it was like it was at 3. It was again, and that was at 3-1 for a chance to go 4-1. It was just, the symmetry was amazing, and that again shows to me that Buddy Boy can come through in the pressure cooker moments, because we've seen everything that he's put on Twitter in terms of everybody else puts on Twitter. People calling him bottler, people calling him this, calling him that, whatever. It's huge for him. And Jose, again, making a final, doing bits. The man is going places. But Michael Smith, he like waiting for a bus, innit, Gob? 2 titles come along at once after 2 years of waiting.
From my hometown, yeah. As the phrase goes, anyway.
Yes, absolutely.
I thought it was superb for both of those opening days. I thought it was superb throughout the week. To put the disappointment of the World Cup behind him, you don't want to pin it all on Rob Cross, but I just think if perhaps there was somebody a little bit more confident next to Michael Smith, we might have seen a different outcome, perhaps, or at least a bigger go of it in that final. He's been good. He's been very good for a few weeks now, building up to this. We saw glimpses of the scoring again in the Premier League as far back as that. It's just the finishing that's let him down. And if he puts together the finishing like he can, because he's so nonchalant with it as well. Like, he's just so casual. It actually amazes me how often he does miss the dart at the double, because it doesn't look like he's ever under pressure for it, because he's just so casual with it. But he has been superb, a worthy winner on both the first 2 days, and a worthy Order of Merit winner in the end as well.
Yeah, 100%. Just absolute brilliance from Bully Boy across the first 2 days. Moving on, day number 3, we're thinking, can Bully Boy make it a hat-trick? It wasn't to be. This man had something to say about it, and again, it wouldn't be a Pro Tour block of 5 unless the Iceman won a title, would it, guys? Because it's just what he does.
I mean, God, before you come and jump in, I just want to say that there are 3 certain things in life at the moment: death, taxes, Gerwin Price, and, spoiler alert, Peter Wright picking up a Pro Tour title. That is just how 2020 works. Okay. Like, this man, I cannot fathom the way that he has become this machine that he was now. Ever since that Grand Slam win in 2018, and yes, people can talk about it and whatever. Look, ever since that Grand Slam win in 2018, he has just become something else. He has risen his game to a level that I don't think that we expected from Gezi. I remember being at the match play in 2017 when Taylor's last match play, and he played against Gezi Price, and I was like, this kid looks good, but I think he could do some bits, but I didn't expect him to be potentially being talked about as the best player in the world, right? That's the thing. And this man is on a charge, but how crucial now is it that he goes and retains that slam and still remains the only player to ever lift the Eric Bristow trophy in that race for the number 1 spot in particular?
In the race for the number 1 spot, it's absolutely massive. I think this really can set the tone for the rest of the year. All right, the players is good, and the world is so massively skewed. But if you get one over the other one heading into, especially if those two meet in the final, I'm not sure where they're going to fall in the drawing or the grouping and that. But I mean, we're ruling Michael van Gerwen out here completely at the minute, but I just don't see him being in contention for world number 1 come the end of the World Championships, unless he pulls something out at Ali Pali. But if it's these two competing for the number 1 spot, to be the new number 1 for the first time in God knows how long, getting one over on your opponent early doors, getting ahead in the mind games, it's massive for the way that the two players play the game as well.
Yeah, and ironically, it's one of the comments as well. He almost went home before this. He almost didn't play on day 3, and it was the KFC that talked him out of carrying on the dual carriageway. Because you've got to think, like, the World Cup stars especially, they just haven't been home, and it's not a surprise. We'll come on to talk to this a bit at the end, that so many of them skip days across the 5 with everything that's going on. But I used to love Gerwyn Price's old saying that I'm just a rugby player nicking a bit of money out of the pros' pockets. And you look at that saying that, and like, I think you're a little bit more than that now.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, as well,
he's a screaming rugby player nicking money out of professional dart players' pockets. That's a joke.
Just go back to your point,
that
though,
one's
God.
A joke.
Just going back to your point, by the way, God, about the World Semi-Final. If we do get a repeat of 2020 in terms of Peter Wright against Gerwyn Price in that semi-final, holy Jesus, could we be in for a fight in that one, in terms of, not necessarily in terms of fisticuffs, but in terms of an absolute scrap. Gezi, I think you go back to that semi-final, you look at the way Gezi played, he was nervous in that semi-final. Maiden World Championship semi-final, being talked about potentially as the best player in the world, going to play either Michael van Gerwen or Nathan Aspinall in that final. And you think, okay, you know, and as well, right, I think it was his time as well in that sense to win the world. But you could see how Gezi was, I think, we're playing within himself in that semi-final. Now, I reckon it'd be a totally different story. I reckon we will see a completely different Gerwyn Price, and a Price now that has won another major in terms of the Grand Prix. Whether you count the Slam as a major is another issue. # what's a major? But he's won another TV title in terms of the World Grand Prix. Yeah, well, yes, God, but I'm with you there. But then again, let's see what happens with the Slam this week, because if he can go deep into the Slam and cover most of his winning money, then again, it puts that pressure on Peter Wright and Michael van Gerwen in that race for world number 1. It is really tight between those two. I mean, let's just get this right now, that if van Gerwen wins one of these 3 events, there's no doubt he will stay number 1 in my eyes. But I think it's going to be tight. Just a quick one, by the way, Phil, before we go into it. The draw, people are asking us for the draw for the Grand Slam. It is coming. We believed it was supposed to be at 9:30, according to Keith Della's Twitter feed. It has obviously been delayed. We will hopefully get that out to you as soon as possible. As soon as we know, you will know. Everybody.
We are scouring social media whilst we're talking to you guys. Don't worry about that. Also, on day 3, before we move on, a massive shout out to Callum Ridds. What a day
Huge.
For the young man. And he catapulted himself back into the world, the players in that one day. And again, he is a loose cannon. He admits that himself. You can see what it means to him. But oh my days, when he gets it right, oh my days, the boy is a special talent.
He is. We saw that at the Worlds last year. We saw just how good he was. The man's absolutely brilliant. I mean, Gob, you probably know a bit more about him because obviously you play with him on the Dev Tour, if I'm right in saying.
Correct. He's one of a bunch that have got this immense talent, and without being disrespectful, I've seen people of a similar age that just don't have the drive or don't have the ability to just get their head down and make of what they can of professional dart players. But if him and a couple of others can overcome that, they've got a real future in the game.
Totally agree.
Yeah,
and
100,
the thing is as well, before we
100%.
move on really quickly, want to shout out Damon Heta for another brilliant run to a final. The lad is going places, continuing to go places. Obviously, won the Autumn Series Order of Merit Slam place. Really looking forward to seeing him on Monday as well.
Yeah, I think he's got an unbelievable future. Then moving on
Yeah.
to day number 4, the world champion decides to get involved in the party as Snakebite wins. And again, he showed signs across the other days that he was almost there. And there it is, day number 4. The world champion rocks up and is crowned the day 4 champion.
Just when you two thought you had FDI number 1 wrapped up for another couple of days, back comes my boy once again.
Brilliant.
Again,
Brilliant.
You've got to feel for Jose de Souza as well, losing in another final, averaging all bar a ton. And at 7-all, I thought Jose had him. I'm not going to lie. But 11 dart leg, I think it was, to win it in the decider was just stunning from Snakebite.
And without being, well, it's not disrespectful to Jose, but if you look at either of them that are going to produce that spectacular moment to get over the line in that position, he's got the experience and he's got the ability, and that's what sets him and Gerwin Price and Michael Van Gerwen apart from the rest of the field. They just have this other gear at the precise moment that they need it. And don't get me wrong, they don't always get away with it. They don't always suddenly produce a 4-visit leg to win a match in a decider. But if you're going to look at somebody to do that, the top boys are more likely to do it than anybody else. There isn't a single score or visit or target on a dartboard that any professional dart player can hit that you or I can't. It's just how consistently they do it. And that's what sets these top 3 apart, because they are so consistent when it comes down to it, when they're under pressure, when the big money's on the line.
Yeah, agreed. And one of the other talking points about day number 4 for me was Adrian Lewis. Got to the semi-final and he ran into Jose de Souza averaging 104. But across the day, that was, I'm not going to say he's back because we've seen this before, but it was at times vintage Adrian Lewis across the day. The game against Michael Van Gerwen, we all just watched it on Dart Connect, just watching the numbers roll in from either of them. Both at one point were average 110 and they're locked at 2-all and stuff like this. And it was just like, when they play like this is still one of the best games in world darts.
Easily. And you said it a minute ago. You said you felt sorry for Jose de Souza for losing in 2 finals. I think Adrian Lewis has been a better player than Jose de Souza this week, and he has fallen to some absolute unbelievable performances. Christoph Ratajski today, yesterday, he's just been so good this week, and I think he's building up to be a bit like Devon Peterson in the respect that he's playing too well to not win something. And the only problem you've got if you're Jackpot is that there's no more Pro Tours, there's no more Euro Tours until next year. So if he's going to do it, he has to do it in one of the 3 remaining TV events. But he is looking good. He is setting himself back up. Another good run at the Worlds. He loves the Alipay stage. Another good run there will set him up nicely in the top 16 again. Get him into the Masters, ease your way back in. And let's be honest, when he's on it, he is glorious to watch. We us in the media and anybody that's a darts fan says exactly the same thing about Jackpot every single time. But he is one of the best players to watch in full flow. Always has been, always will be.
Yeah,
totally agree. I think the thing is with AD is that he hasn't won a title now for what is it? Going on 3 years, if memory serves me correctly, something around that now.
Maybe
and
he Barney
does
last
deserve.
year, didn't he?
He did actually. Yeah, no, please excuse me. But yeah, that wasn't on Darts database.
I mentioned the D word.
I love it. I love it. Do you know what? That wasn't even intentional, but I'll take that. Well, yeah, that is true. But no, I tell you what it was. I was looking at Darts database, which is normally the Holy Grail, and it hasn't actually been updated. So that's an interesting one. But no, in all seriousness about this, I really like the way that AD's playing, the way that he just looks so majestic with that throw. It's a shame, by the way, that he's not in the slam because he deserves to be after this week, to be brutally honest.
Here's one for you before we come on to day
I thought
number
he might
5.
have just got there today.
I thought he was going to get there today. I really did.
Would you have liked to see the slam qualifier after the Winter Series instead of before?
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
Yes, because it means that people can play themselves into a week, and I think that would be gross. I mean, answers in the comments, by the way. Answers in the comments if you agree with us or not. But I certainly would want that. I can't think of a reason why not to do it, unless of course they're like as it is now, and the fact that they're still trying to get the draw done. But there you go. Let's hope that we can get the draw out before we go off air tonight.
Because of the World Cup. It was the draw and timing of getting them all back and everything like that. Look, we understand it's an impossible situation to manage at the moment, but I just think that if we'd have had the qualifier tomorrow, or if they'd have done maybe the first day of the Winter Series on the qualifier and the qualifier been today, I think that we may have seen different qualifiers than what we got.
Completely understand the logistics, but for me, the qualified event should be a last chance saloon. It is for every other event you go to. It's the last chance to sneak into the World Series, last chance to sneak into the World Championships. To have it before this week was a little bit disappointing. I would have liked to see it the other way around.
100%. Right. Moving on to day number 5, and it was the turn of the rock star who rocked up in Coventry with a new shirt, a new sponsor, new darts, and oh my God, one, how nice did they look, first of all, but how well did he play across the 5 days as well?
First of all, that shirt,
the photo we got, none of it.
Yeah.
All the things
yeah,
just
so true.
not in that photo. This is the old joke.
Yeah. Problem is, we haven't got a picture of him with his new shirt yet, so unfortunately we had to use the old one.
We'll get one this week, actually, I'm sure, with the slam. But if anybody from Winmau is listening to this, can I please have that black shirt that he's wearing? Because it looks so nice. Oh, the one that Barzy's got actually on. Can I have my own one? That'd be great. Look, yes, absolutely.
2XL, because
where'd you get that one?
Not slim.
Yeah, XL for me, please. Phill, where did you get that one from? Did you do you work for a player who plays for Winmau?
Well, do a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit here and there. I'm sure we'll come on to talk about him in a second. No, in all seriousness, look, Cullen played really, really well. Apart from that first game, I don't know how he got out of jail, to be brutally honest with you. He was miles behind. I was watching that game at the start of the day. By the way, kudos to you, God, for coming on at 5 o'clock, because my brain was fried trying to look at every stat, trying to make sure we knew where everybody was going. But that first game of the afternoon was the Cullen against Pike game, and I remember seeing Pike 5-0 up, going, "Oh, okay, he's going to qualify then." And I just see 1, 2, 3, and go, "Oh my God, how the hell's he bottling this?" 4, and then go, "Oh wow." He sort of flew under the radar, to be fair to Cullen, most of the day. Like it was, sort of wins that we expect. He'd beaten Chris Dobie. Okay, yeah, beaten Neil Zonneveld. Really good game between those pair. Yeah, okay, we expect that. And again, then all of a sudden, he just seemed to be getting on with it really, really quickly. Boris Kuchmar did him 6-0. Daryl Gurdy, really good scrap between those two in the quarterfinals. Easy win over Andy Bolton, 7-3, and then a very comfortable win in the end against Krzysztof Ratajski. Gob, you were covering the final for us. That one just seemed to it was really tight to start with. Then Cullen just found another gear that Ratajski couldn't go for.
I think Ratajski had the same gear that Cullen had until 3 each. And then Cullen's scoring was ridiculous. He had 2 legs that were basically identical, apart from the fact that checkout. He went 140, 134, 140. And then took out the 87 the first time for 11 dart break after Ratajski had gone back-to-back 59s, 3rd and 4th visit. You can't get troublous. I just think the pressure of Cullen's scoring told he was absolutely relentless.
Yeah, 100%. You go back to round one. I just looked at the stats here. Justin Pipe losing 6-5 with nearly 104 average. You'd be heartbroken.
I think he had, if memory serves me correctly, from what Nico was saying on comms, he had 4 chances to win that match. In terms of if he had darts to win that match or was left on a 1-out double, 4 of 6 legs. That's just heartbreaking for the man. However, though, Pipe won't be too gutted. Although he missed out on the Worlds and the Players, he won't be too gutted because obviously he's qualified for the Slam at the start of the week.
Yeah. Like, yeah, 100%. And you look at it as well, other notable things across the day. Mr. David Chisnell rocking up in the last 32 with just the 121.7 average against poor David Evans.
Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Because
let's not be surprised.
Right.
We say this a lot about Chizzy. He fires in stupid averages and then he'll drop off and lose the next game or very comfortably soon afterwards.
That wasn't the point. The point was that he lost in the first round. It was definitely 3. Was it 4 days? I think it was 4 of the 5. It might have been just 3. Yeah, 3 or 4, depending on what it was. I'm sorry, by the way, for everybody that was watching. The brain is fried. Okay. How can you lose 3 games in the first round and then pile in a 1-2-1.7? I just don't understand these things. What is Chizzy doing?
Welcome to the world of Chizzy.
Ratajski had an absolute mare of a week until today.
But did you see, by the way, what David Evans tweeted, which I thought was brilliant? Someone talked about it being a 1-2-1.7. I think it might have been Wayne Mardle who tweeted that. Then David Evans replied to him by saying, I had the best seat in the house, which I thought was very, very classy, to be fair. Really, really classy from David Evans. But he's a classy bloke, to be fair.
He's going to be a good player next year as well on the tour. We've seen him do bits in the last month where he's got invites to these tournaments, did well on the Euro Tour. I think he's got a big future in the sport. Right, we're going to talk about the Winter Series in general as well. So, guys, in the comments below comments on YouTube, get your performances of the whole Winter Series and we're going to discuss some of the talking points, the order of merit, whilst we're waiting for, obviously, the Grand Slam draw to happen. I think, obviously, it's running late. But there we have the order of merit. Michael Smith topping it, 23.5 grand. Absolute stunning Winter Series from Bully Boy. Joe Cullen, second. Again, brilliant. And I just think that Joe's matured. Look, he's been around since New Kids on the Oki. Now I am showing my age. And he's always had the potential. But now he looks as if he's going to go and... For those that haven't seen it, just go on YouTube when you finish listening to us and search for New Kids on the Oki. It's genius. You've got a young Michael Smith, a young Aaron Monk, a young Joe Cullen, and Jamie Callan was in there. This is when they're all like 14 or 15, perhaps, around that sort of area. Hilarious. But this is how long the likes of Michael Smith and Joe Cullen have been around the professional game and being talked about. Peter Wright, third, 15 grand. Jose de Souza, on fourth on countback. Jose, he must be scratching himself, wondering how he hasn't won one of these 5 days. Geraldine Price, fifth after only playing 3 events. That's some 11 grand from. That's just good going. Damon Heta, absolutely superb. 11.5. 7, Jermaine Watamina. Congratulations to Jermaine. That got him a spot in the Grand Slam of darts. And across the 5 days, really impressed with Jermaine. It was good. Dolan, 8. Again, a good time from Brendan Dolan. Ratajski, 9. And there he is, the Dutch bulldozer. I'm going to call him now. He's not the Dutch destroyer anymore. He's the Dutch bulldozer. Vincent van der Voort.
I love him. I love him. Again, I just love Big Vincent.
This time, the resurgence of Vincent van der Voort, at times, he just looks like an absolute class operator again. Like when he got to the final of the UK Open and stuff like that.
It's the season for resurgences, isn't it? Aidy Lewis is back on the climb. Kim Huybrechts looked very, very good today. I've been warning you it's coming. I thought he was good at the World Cup and he looked very, very good today. Unlucky to not make the Slam. I thought he was close on Monday night. He's one to watch out for the rest of the year. If he can start picking up the form again, his grouping today was superb.
I think,
sorry. That part's interesting as well. Yeah. The dart he's using interesting.
For me,
it's almost like a cross between Danny Noppert and Peter Wright. The dart he's using now. It's like a hybrid version between the two, which is quite interesting.
Yeah. I think I'm quite interested to see. Right, I think. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Dolan thought was excellent. Thought Van der Voort was so consistent. I think the pair of them were. I want to shout out a couple of players that I didn't think I'd be shouting out. We've talked about Callum Rydz, and the comments, by the way, we can see them, so keep them coming in. The comments are going mental for him, and rightly so. I thought he was outstanding over the week. I thought he was very, very good in the, to when he got to the semi-final on Wednesday. Really good as well to make a last 16 today. I thought he played absolutely brilliantly, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think we've really seen much from Rydz since the World Championships last year. And I think we need to see more from him. And he even said himself, like, I'm back, and he feels like he's back. I'm really excited to see him at the Players' Championship finals. I think it's going to be quite good. And like I say, the comments for Rydz, I've never seen a single dart player light up the comments as I have done on YouTube tonight, Phil. Rydz has been obviously outstanding.
Oh, I know what.
But what I'm going to go into the raid. Yeah. I've also said this, though, Ryan Murray as well. Ryan Murray thought he played outstandingly well. Go, you go. I presume you're going to talk about him, Gob, so I don't want to steal your thunder.
He was just class. He was very, very solid, very, very good all weekend. The times that I did manage to see him play, he wasn't spectacular. There was no 108, 109, 110 averages, but I thought he was just very, very solid, very, very consistent, beat some very, very good established tour players, and he's looked solid. He looked very solid.
Yeah, completely agree. Right, I'm going to put you two on the spot in a minute. I'm going to do it the same. Whilst I go through a couple of the comments, out of the ordinary suspects, your top 5 performances at the Winter Series, but you obviously can't pick Peter Wright, Gerwyn Price, because they're the usual suspects, the ones that maybe people don't give enough credit to. Whilst we go through some of the comments, yeah, Adrian Lewis, outstanding. Jason Lowe, solid. Yeah, he was. Performances, Smith, Heta, Dolan, Watamina, Barry, Hunt, Kachuk. Again, Christoph Kachuk and Adam Hunt went under the radar a lot as well. I was impressed.
Super.
They were going to be two of the ones that I selected, to be brutally honest. Two of the ones that I was going to select.
Yeah.
Adam Hunt, by the way. I tipped him for a great week on our last live lounge, by the way. I just want to say that. But I didn't expect this kind of a week. He goes and absolutely smashes it on the Monday night at the Grand Slam of Darts. He then goes and qualifies quite easily in the end, really, for the Players and for the World Championships. And it wasn't really the fact that he qualified with these. There were days that you just thought something was coming. And then today he just found it out really out of nowhere. A really good run. Beating Dimitri van den Berg as well, the match play champion, 6-0. That's a big thing for me. I did not expect that to happen. But full credit to Adam Hunt. He's played really, really well. Again, Christoph Kachuk, very, very good stuff. And it was almost like for the start of the week, Gob, Ratajski and Kachuk had basically swapped with the way that they were playing.
We watched Christoph Kachuk in the World Cup at one point average 43 against Damon Heta. That was nowhere to be seen for the first 3 days. He was superb. Complete different player, like a different man, like someone had swapped his body on the airplane on the way back over. He was class. And that's why we were bigging up Poland and saying they've got potential for the next couple of years. Because if Kachuk can really get his teeth into the tour and start producing what he did over this week consistently, that Polish team at the World Cup could be very, very dangerous for the years to come.
100%. I'll say another one. Keane Barry. His game against Michael Smith.
Oh, what a week.
It's not very often that you have to say Michael Smith had to compose himself and slow down.
Yeah, I thought, to be fair, Keane, right? Do you know what? On the first day, that Winter Series, I think I tweeted about the fact that he had an amazing comeback in the last 64, because I think he was 5-3 or 5-4 down, if memory serves me correctly. And you look back at it, against Richie Edhouse, and then Conan Whitehead just beat him in the end in the last day. But again, Keane made a couple of last 32s, made a last 16. I think he made a quarter final at one stage as well, if memory serves me correctly. look, the kid is quality, and he will be around darts for a number of years. The Irish are now the hotbed of darts at the moment. Gurney, Dolan, O'Connor, Lennon, and now Keane Barry as well.
You lost
Outstanding
me. You
stuff.
lost me at Gurney.
Well, whether we class him as Irish or not, is a question that we don't need to get into tonight. It must be said. Look, the island of Ireland, at least, is where that is. By the way, Daryl Gurney, another shocking series for him. I'm sure we'll come on to biggest disappointments a little bit later. But yeah, that Barry deserves a hell of a mention. What a week for him. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah. So, right, I'm going to put you both on the spot now. Your 5, going to start with you, Gob. Your 5 that went under the radar that massively impressed you across the PDC Winter Series.
Adam Hunt, I thought he's been very good for the last couple of weeks. All right, we did give him a little bit of a tip last time, or Jar did, but I thought he was solid. Andy Bolton. We have not mentioned Andy Bolton, and we very, very rarely mention Andy Bolton, but he is a player that finds himself in these last 16s a lot more frequently and often than I think we give him credit for. Okay, it seems to be last 8 or first round exit, but when he gets it going, he's superb, and he's got a very, very easy, very simple to repeat action, and he's really got something if he gets going. I thought he was superb. I'm not sure if he counts as going in under the radar because he finished 8th in the order of merit, but I was very impressed with Brendan Dolan this week. A few weeks ago, I was tipping him and Gurney to do bits at the World Cup. That completely got shut down about a week before. They were both carrying no form whatsoever. But Dolan is a player who's been there and done that for a long, long time, especially on the floor events. There's a time around 2013, 2014 when he was picking up titles for fun. Very, very dangerous player when he gets going. I thought he had a great week. Who else shall we go for? Ryan Murray. We've just spoken about him, but I thought he was superb. Kim Hybrex on the comeback is massive for me. That's massive for darts. He's a character. I think we need characters. He's a likable going price, in my opinion.
Oh wow! Go straight down there, Gob.
Big Dirk to finish with $8,000 this week. $6,000, sorry. We haven't really mentioned him at all. Good run today to back up, finding his way in that Grand Prix final was something that us or he did not expect in his wildest dreams. Okay, and he's proven he's got the game to back it up. It wasn't a one-off. He had good form at the start of the year, completely dropped off out of nowhere. If he'd done that in March, April time, we would not have been surprised whatsoever because he was carrying really, really good form. That completely disappeared. Then he went and did that at a Grand Prix, and now he's backing up with good runs on the Pro Tour again. Dirk van Dijvenbode can be a top-class dart player. So, yeah, that's where I'm going.
Jar, over to you. Your 5.
Okay, well, just before we go, by the way, everybody, just in case you haven't read the live chat, the draw for the Slam will be live at 10:15 in the evening. Christ, we're going to be on here till late tonight, guys. And
we are going to give you live reaction as it happens. The watch-along draw with us 3 guys. We can all talk about it together as the pots come out.
I love it. Love it. Of course it will. Absolutely. That's just how it works with you. Right. So my 5 under the radar for me, very similar to what Gob said, really. Adam Hunt, I'm going to start off with completely. Adam Hunt played some outstanding stuff to qualify first off for the Slam. Played really well, deserved a good run, and got a good run. He's in the world. He's in the he's in also the Players' Championship finals. Deserves to be there. Really, really good stuff from him. I know we talked about him before. Callum Ridds. Am I allowed to go with Callum Ridds after we've already talked about him?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, of course you are.
Well, yeah. Then absolutely fair enough. He deserves the shout there. Callum Ridds is absolutely one of them. Played some super stuff. and deserves a big shout out. Jason Lowe, again, just doing what Jason Lowe does, just constantly making last 32s, last 16s, just finding ways to make finals to make board finals, and playing some really good stuff on the way to doing so. And I think he's playing really good stuff as well throughout the entire week. Deserves a shout out. This one's tough. Do you know what? Actually, I'm going to go with Willie Borland. Well, he didn't quite make the World Championships order of merit. I think Willie Borland played really good stuff as well. Really enjoyed watching him. We got to see Keith Barrow against Will Borland, which I think is going to be a matchup that we're going to be seeing for a number of years on the PDC circuit. I just wish it was going to be televised. Sometimes we're not allowed nice things. And whether do I go with this player or do I not is the big question. I know you talked about Andy Bolton, and I would have said him. Do you know what, though? Do you know what? I'm going to go with Darius. He wasn't colourblind in that aspect. Darius Labanauskas has played really good stuff, I think, this week.
What a reference. What a reference.
He's so... What a song, by the way. Can we just put that out there now? He was definitely not colourblind, was our Darius. Now, here is the deal with Darius Labanauskas, okay? It was quite a fair distance off initially qualifying for the Players' Championship finals. He'd obviously qualified for the Worlds, already basically qualified for the Worlds. But to get into the Players' Championship finals by the skin of his teeth, by the way, we talk about skins of teeth. How much was John Henderson worried earlier on today? My goodness me. Watching that at the end of... Well, Scotland, what a week for Scotland. Obviously qualifying for the Euros and now getting Hendo in the World to the Players. Hashtag, as you say, big Hendo weekendo. But no, Darius Labanauskas has played some really good stuff. And again, it's not just because he's tagging us in everything, which I really appreciate him doing, but he has played some really good stuff this week. And he's got a berth into the Players' Championship finals. So fair play to him.
Right, I'm going to do mine. But whilst I do mine, get your thingy caps on because you know where we're going after the under the radar ones, guys. Your 5 disappointments of the Winter Series.
Well, that's an easy one.
So my 5, again, I completely agree with both of you. Adam Hunt, I thought was absolutely outstanding. Callum Ridds, again, just that northeast hotbed, as we call it, was absolutely magnificent. Then I'm going to go Kachuk, because I think the World Cup massively helped his confidence, and I just think he played some really good stuff. Maybe not results-wise, perhaps he not got the results he deserved, but really impressed with how Kachuk went about himself. Then, where am I going from here? Agree, I'm going to go Willie Borland as well. Just narrowly missed out on qualifying, but an absolute star as unearthed. Everyone was wondering how Scottish darts was going to go when Gary Anderson and Peter Wright call it a day. I think it's in safe hands looking at Willie Borland. And my last one of performances that went under the radar, I was banging on about him on Twitter the whole 5 days. And again,
no, you're not going with him. Please don't tell me you're going with him. I think I know who
he didn't get the results he deserved. But when you look at his stats, considering he's hardly played this year and come in probably colder than anyone, I'm going the Prince of Wales, Richie Burnett.
Oh, he's gone with it.
He's actually gone with it. He was absolutely outstanding at times, just infectious to watch. And if we could, I'd give him a wild card into everything because I'd rather have 32 Richie Burnett's than 32 robots.
They need it because they want 500 quid a week.
Exactly.
But just some of his performances, were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And considering how cold he was, I just think that he's still got the game to compete at the top level if he's playing regularly.
That's a big question there. If he's playing regularly,
100%. It's if he's playing regularly. Do you think he's done nothing hardly this year because of the circumstances we're in? Gets a late call up to go, and it was just a joy to watch. Sorry, everyone, if you don't like my Richie Burnett one, but there we go. Right, moving on.
I don't.
Your 5 biggest disappointments of the Winter Series. And Jar, this time I'm going to throw you under the bus first.
Oh, dude, don't have to throw me under the bus, mate. There's plenty of them. Look, people would expect me to go with Glenn. Right. So here's the first thing. Before anybody tries to criticise me, and before says I'm chickening out on this, I'm not going to go with Michael Van Gerwen because he's only played in 2 events, even though he didn't make a last 32. You could have been on there, but if he'd have been there across the 5 events and done something like that, then I may be able to go with that. I'm also not going to go with Glenn Durrant because even though he was poor across the 5 events, he had no practice whatsoever. He just responded from COVID. So I'm going to give him a bit of a pass. So before anybody thinks that I'm chickening out, I'm not chickening out. Right. Saying that, the 5 that really, really disappointed me. Let's start down the bottom. John Henderson for a kickoff. Didn't do well. Barely squeaked in by the absolute barest of margins, by, as Ian Smith would call it, by the barest of all margins. Right? He just about survived in that one. So it wasn't good enough. Hendo knows it wasn't good enough, and he's got to improve. Rob Cross again. What is a Rob Cross at the minute? I don't know, but whatever he is at the moment, he needs to find something, because if he doesn't start soon, he's got a match play to defend next year, a European Championship to defend next year. His ranking could slip dramatically, quickly. And he might not be guaranteed a spot in the Premier League by this time next year. I think he was still just about being there this year, but he's got to be careful. Speaking of people who are guaranteed a shot in the Premier League next year, Dimitri van den Berg. Again, know you're a match play champion, buddy, but you've got to improve on the floor if you want to try and keep up. And if you don't want that match play title to be the big moment, if that falls off your ranking, where you drop back down into those 30 and 31s potentially. So definitely has to be up there for me. Dimmy did not play particularly well. So that's 3. Next one. I don't know whether it's I know who I'm going with. Chris Dobie. We expected so much from Dobes. And I think he'll admit it himself. We expected him to do so much after the Slam qualifier. It didn't happen for him. So we expected a good Winter Series. He fell first round in 3 days. To be a player in that top 16 and push yourself into that top 16, you can't do that. And I think he'll know that as well, will Dobes. He'll be very self-critical of himself. We know how much that is the case. Finally, I'm going to go with the Bronze Adonis. Glad Duff isn't here. I'm going to go with the Bronze Adonis, Steve Beaton. Because, yeah, okay, he's getting on a bit. But at the end of the day, he's got to have some hell of a Players' Championship finals if he wants to stay as a seed at the Worlds this year. Because that race for that 30 to 31 and 32 seeds are so tight. You've got Clemens coming up on the shoulder, just going through the World Championship race as it stands now. So Steve is now currently 31st seed for the Worlds, tied with Jose de Sousa on 30th. You've got Devin Peterson on 161, who's 29. You've got Ricky Evans on 160. You then got Gabe Clemens on 159. You've got Keegan Brown 152, Luke Humphreys, Willie O'Connor both at 149. If he is not careful, he could be playing in round 1 of the World Championships, and we don't want that for the Bronze Adonis. We just don't want it. So there you go. There's my 5.
Gob, over to you.
I'm going to look at it another way. I'm not going to go for the players that just didn't get going a week. I'm going to go for the players that I expect to be at the back end of events that perhaps didn't deliver. So despite the fact we've been praising him a lot recently, the first I'm going to pick is Devin Peterson. I think he's carried spectacular form over the last few months, and all right, you can't be on that crest of the wave permanently, but I just don't think that he delivered enough at the minute for a player who 4 weeks ago we were talking about as potential TV winners for the rest of the year. Rob Cross is the same. What on earth is going on with him at the minute? I don't know. And another player that finished on similar prize money, Simon Whitlock, finished on £2,000. he's been superb the last few weeks. His performances at the World Cup were quality. He got through the qualifier on Monday night. Just didn't back it up this week. And then who else am I going to pick on today?
You can't pick the B word for once.
Oh, I can't. He was crap. Serves him right. Should have been there. Should have been better.
Brilliant.
Disappointed to have not seen James Wade at the back end of one of these events. I thought he's been playing very consistently lately. Looks good. The change to the code dart seems to have suited him, and just didn't quite back it up here. Whether or not that changes next week is completely different. I'm going to be a bit harsh here, but I'm going to pick Lisa Ashton. And I know it's a tough field. It's professional darts. It's going to be. But for a player that's got the opportunities that she has for the next few months, including the Slam, needs to be a little bit more convincing. Even the likes of the Robert Thornton game probably needed to get over the line in that one. I'm not filled with confidence at a chance to, don't mean it nastily, but keep things respectable at the Slam. We don't know how Makura is going to play, and Lisa hasn't had a good week.
Well, before we jump in there quickly, before we go to the draw, just to say, big news coming from the BDO World Champion herself. She has landed in the UK without incident, according to her Twitter feed. So she is around. She's now in the hotel in Coventry. Happy days. Mikuru Suzuki will be playing in the Grand Slam.
Had to go via Amsterdam. I'm going to quickly fit mine in if we can before the draw. If we have to cut me off, we will do, because I'm not important in all this. It's you guys and the draw. That is the one that matters. So I've got a load written down here, and most of them have been covered. I agree. I think Rob Cross, massive disappointment. And look, I think he needs to step back. There's technical issues that he needs to address. I've never seen so many darts closer to the 25 segment at times than the treble when he pulls them. So, for me, disappointed in Rob. Nathan Aspinall.
Draws out. Pre-recorded.
Well,
yes, it is. It's pre-recorded, this draw. Yes, it's pre-recorded, this draw. So, obviously. Yes.
Where are you?
Do you want to do it?
Facebook or
on
Boyle Sports? Yeah, on Boyle Sports Twitter. Yeah. So, do we want to do this as live? Do we want to do this as live potentially, or do we just? Okay. So here we go. So I'm just fast forwarding it at the moment. Tell you what, we've never had to do this before, have we?
Sorry, guys. Here we go.
So I've just got to the point where Paul Nicholson is making the balls into the bag. So I'm going from 1 minute and 21 seconds at the moment. So I'm just fast forwarding it a little bit. So here we go. So
number one
is the number 1 seed, Michael Van Gerwen. Michael Van Gerwen, and also in Group 8, Joe Cullen. Yes, that's what we like to see. 2 Modus players there coming in there at this moment in time. In Group A, Gary Anderson is put into Group B. And so here we go. Who's joining him in Group B? It's Simon Whitlock. Oh, that is a big draw, that. That is a good draw. Michael Smith is in Group C. Michael Smith and Christopher Ratajski in the next draw. That's a good one. Looking forward to that. Group D, Rob Cross will be joined in Group D by Dave Chisnell. That's a wide open group, I think, that one, to be fair. I think that's a wide open group. Peter Wright is in YouTube. Let us know. Peter Wright is going to be with Ian White. Whoa. That's a tough draw. James Wade is in there with who's he got in group? Who's he got? Glenn Doran. Oh, wow. That is a
Stablemate.
huge draw. Gerwin Price is in Group G, obviously, as the number 3 seed, and he will take on in that group Johnny Clayton. It's another all Wales clash between the two World Cup winners. And in Group H, we've got Nathan Aspinall. Nathan Aspinall will be alongside Dimitri Vandenberg in Group H. So just a quick recap on that one at this moment in time. MBG and Joe Cullen, Gary Anderson and Simon Whitlock in the same group. What else have we got there as well, PB, while we're waiting? I think because Group C, actually, do you know what? I'm going to shut myself up a little bit because I think the next people are going to be drawn. So Michael Van Gerwen, Joe Cullen, and
Clemens.
Here we got Gabriel Clemens. Oh my God, what a group that is.
Oh my days.
Oh my God, what group that is. Gary Anderson and Simon Whitlock will be joined by Ryan Searle. That's an interesting group for me.
Group A, group of death like so far.
Smith,
Group A is the group of death. Oh my goodness gracious me. This draw, Cross, Chisnell, and who have we got in that group with them?
Humphreys.
Luke Humphreys. That is a big opportunity for Luke there, I think. I really think that's a big opportunity. Peter Wright, Ian White. Who else is in? Devin Peterson. Some of these groups are brutal. And this isn't, we don't know, by the way, I should say, we don't know any of this before. This is live reaction.
Oh, Mac Elkin, Jermaine Wattamina.
The Mac Elkin group, everybody.
Sportsman. If Justin Pipe gets drawn into that, by the way. Because he's in.
Oh my God.
He is he not?
Ryan Joyce joins
Ryan Clayton and Ryan Joyce. And then so into Group H we go. Nathan Aspel and Dimitri Vandenberg. Who's joining them?
Ricky Evans.
That's not a bad draw. That's a good draw.
Which leaves.
That's a good draw.
Ryan Searle.
No, Ryan Searle's already out.
That was it.
Yes,
oh my God.
Group B with Ando.
The players that can still get pulled from this, by the way: Dirk van Dijvenbode, Damon Hetter, Adam Hunt, Justin Pipe, Wayne Warren, Lisa Ashton, Adam Corliss, or Makori Suzuki.
Speaking of Adam Hunt has been drawn in the same group as Van Gerwen, Cullen, and Clemens. Good luck, mate.
Oh my God,
that's not the group he wanted. That's for sure.
Anderson, Ryan Searle, and Whitlock, and Adam Gavlas.
Adam Gavlas. Oh my God, this next group could have. Is this the mad group? This could be Hetter or Dijvenbode.
It could be.
It would Smith, Ratajski, and D'Souza.
Smith, Ratajski, and D'Souza. Please. What a mad group this is.
Number 3. Lisa Ashton.
Lisa Ashton. Tell you what, that's a brutal draw for Lisa. Holy.
Oh my days.
That is mental. Cross, Chisnell,
Carnage
Humphreys,
in a nutshell.
And Justin Pipe. Oh, we haven't got the all Mac Elkin group.
Sportsman.
We haven't got the all Sports Management Company group, which is a shame. Peter Wright, Ian White, Devin Peterson, and who's going to come? Next one.
Dirk.
Out. It's Dirk van Dijvenbode.
Oh my days.
That is a group of death. That is a group of death. What a draw that is. Wright, White, Peterson, and Dirk van Dijvenbode. Wade, Durrant,
Damon Hetter. This Hetter or Suzuki. And it's Hetter.
Yeah, it is Damon Hetter. So it's basically an all Mac Elkin group. It's all basically a sports management company group.
By the way, that's the group for the purists. What a game that is for the finishers of the game.
Really excited for that. Gerwin Price, Johnny Clayton, Ryan Joyce. Will Makira be drawn in this group? Yes, she will. So Price, Clayton, Joyce, and Makuru. So
Wayne Warren
is going to be in a group with Nathan Aspinall,
Dimitri Van den Berg, and Ricky Evans.
Interesting. So that then, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the draw for the Grand Slam of Darts. What a draw. The group stages are brutal. Phill Bars, you have been taking notes. You've been building a social graphic at the same time. Just a quick reminder
not quite
of
a social
those groups.
I haven't been doing the graphic at the same time because I was just writing them down.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
However,
Well, this is
Lou's done it for me. So give me 30 seconds and we'll have it on the screen. Or give me a minute.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's do that then. But I mean, goodness gracious me! First time you've ever done a live react to the draw. That was the first time we'd seen that draw. Unbelievable comes to mind. It was one of those where we can't believe some of the groups. I mean, a few of them, I think, will be gutted about some of that. It must be said. But what a draw! I hope you enjoyed it. I hope we didn't scare you off doing that. And we really do appreciate you sticking with us. We are going to give our live reactions now to the draw. We're going to give our previews ahead of the Grand Slam of Darts. Don't forget as well, if you can't be with us now, because appreciate it's 25 past 10 in the evening in the UK. We will be available as a podcast tomorrow. You can listen to it on your favourite podcast provider. And also as well, you can watch it all on YouTube again, like we did it with live reactions to the draw. PB, I'm trying to still hear as much as I possibly can.
In the comments, just your reaction to the draw and what's the worst group, everyone. Get those comments in right now.
Please, group of death. Group of death.
Group of death in the comments now, whilst I tee this up for us all.
Yeah. I've got some bold predictions now coming out of this group. I'm really excited to give you these bold predictions. Phill Bars, you can run us through the groups. Here we go.
Just like magic, and it appears.
Wow. Wow. Oh,
where do we start, ladies and gents? Where do we start? This is brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Oh my goodness me. I think let's start at the very beginning. Let's just go through the groups just to remind us all, I think, is probably the right way of going about it, PB.
Yeah, so Group A, Michael Van Gerwen, Joe Cullen, Gabriel Clements, Adam Hunt. Group B, Gary Anderson, how fit is he? Simon Whitlock, Ryan Searle, and Adam Gowlas. Group C, oh my days, Michael Smith, Christoph Ratajski, Jose de Souza, Lisa Ashton. Group D, Rob Cross, Dave Chisnell, Luke Humphreys, Justin Pipe. Group E, Peter Wright, Ian White, Devon Peterson, Dirk van Duivenbode. Group F, shut your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. James Wade, Glenn Durrant, Jermaine Watamina, Damon Heta. Group G, Garwin Price, Johnny Clayton, Ryan Joyce, Makuru Suzuki. And Group H, Nathan Aspinall, Dimitri Van den Berg, Ricky Evans, and Wayne Warren. Oh my goodness, ladies and gents. Oh my goodness.
Best slam draw ever. Fact. What a draw that is. Oh, I love this sport. I really do.
Right, bearing in mind, ladies and gents, we're reacting to this as you are. So we're going to go through and we're going to pick the two who comes out of all these groups, guys. It's what we do here at Online Darts. We don't cut corners. We're going for it.
Didn't tell me that was coming.
Well, you know.
Really? Did that happen? All right. Well, do you want me to go first then, Gob? While you try and pick a few of these.
I think we should do group by group and all give our picks. Don't do all 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do group by group.
Okay. So do you want me to go first then, gents? Because I don't mind. I've got a bold prediction coming straight in Group A.
Is it that the world number 1 gets knocked out?
Yep. Joe Cullen and Gabriel Clemens both come through that group.
But Phil's not convinced by Clemens on TV, so that's not happening.
Right, so
I'll write these down. I'll write my picks down now. But so I'm going to go with
who top. No, I don't want the two. I want who tops the group. None of this shortcut malarkey. Who tops the group and who can run us
up? Clements will be running her up. Cullen will top the group.
Gob, over to you in Group A.
Colin tops the group with MVG second.
I am going MVG tops the group. Joe Cullen comes runner-up. Group B. Well, until the German giant convinces me on TV.
You made the Grand Slam semi. You made the last 16 last year.
It's not this year.
Okay. All right.
See, like, even then the FBI goes with me. But the facts speak for themselves. Right. Are you ready for Group B?
Yeah, let's go with it. Go on. I don't mind.
Go on, then.
I'm going to go with Whitlock to top the group. And it all depends on how fit Gary Anderson is, whether he goes and becomes runner-up. Having known the extent of his knee injury, I'm going to go with Searle to go be runner-up. Gary misses out purely because of his knee. If it wasn't the knee, I'd be backing him to be runner-up to Whitlock, but I think Searle will just do it. Just.
Gob?
I've got Searle to win the group. I think this is the sort of event where he just goes mad. He's just going to be steady. He's capable of producing something ridiculous. Good run at the Worlds before. And I also think Gary's too injured, so I think Simon finishes second.
I agree with one of you. And it is you, Jar. I think Whitlock wins the group, the form he's been in. And again, because of Gary's injury, I just don't see how he can play back-to-back days without it flaring up. Unless, look, he might have gone and had a cortisone injection, something like that. Which, if he can't feel the knee, it might be all right. But right now, I'm based on the fact that we don't know. I'm going Ryan Searle as runner-up. Group C. Good luck with this one, gents. And are we going to agree?
I don't think so. Somehow.
This is absolute hell.
This is the group of death for me. This is this is the one group that I do not want to be in. And I am going to go with Jose de Sousa, the special one, to top the group. And I'm going to go with Bully Boy to be runner-up. I can't believe I'm not allowed. I can't believe Christoph Ratajski. But the thing is, I'm with you, Phil, in terms of Clements on TV. Ratajski's never convinced me on TV. Yes, he made a match play quarterfinal. Yeah, okay, brilliant. But he's never convinced me properly on TV. I'm going to go with Jose and Michael to join it. Smith runner-up, Jose de Sousa to win it.
Gob.
I have exactly the same as Jarleth.
That means it's not going to happen, does it?
With Smith second.
Jose tops it and Smith second. Interesting.
I think we should have a point system by the week, by the way, guys, and have a little contest between us.
Yeah, all right. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, all right. Right. I'm going to go.
We'll point for every player that you get in the right position. Or we'll work out our scoring system. But, yeah.
Yeah, we'll sort that out fair. We've got a lot to get through now.
I'm going Michael Smith to top the group. I'm going Christoph Ratajski to come runner-up.
Ooh.
I don't know why. You know when you get this nagging feeling in the back of your head.
Hmm.
I don't know why, but I'm just going Ratajski to sneak it on leg difference from Jose de Souza.
It's going to be tight. I'm looking forward to that group, man. That group's amazing.
Look, that group,
and
you can
Lisa
make
as
cases
well.
for all three of them. Look, I think the form that
And
Lisa's
Lisa,
shown
to be
over
fair
the
as
Winter
well.
Series, you can, but I think the form that she's shown doesn't give you confidence against those three, what we've seen over the last 5 days. Look, Lisa's a fabulous player. And if she turns it on, she could do damage. But what we've seen, you'd have to say that she is the outsider massively of the four.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll give you that. 100%. Fine.
Group D.
This for me is probably the easiest group of the lot. Maybe D and H. Can I say that?
Yeah, I kind of know where I kind of know where I'm going with this. But
yeah, I do as well.
Jar, do you want to lead us off? Do you know?
Yeah, well, I do it all the time. So at this point, so let's just keep it. Why change about a good thing? Chisnell to win the group. Humphreys to come runner up.
Again, I have exactly the same.
Well, we're all screwed because we've all got the same.
Theory, mate. What we do know is that Cross and Pipe.
So if anyone that's watching this, back Rob Cross and Justin Pipe to come through.
Group E. Group E.
If we've all gone the same, it's never a good thing. Never a good thing at all.
No.
Group
E. Never
Group E.
This is tough.
Oh my
days. Very tough.
This is horrendous. Okay, I've gone right to win it just because Peter Wright at the moment. He's playing some superb stuff. There's two. I'm not too sure which one. Dirk van Dijvenbode, runner up. Why not? The Aubergine Machine.
The Aubergenius.
The Aubergenius.
I have Snakey in top. I just think he's solid. I think the other three could all take legs off each other, and it's whoever gets the most legs off Snakey. If they beat each other in a triangle.
Big shout out to Justin Pipe, who was watching us live. I'm on form, lads.
Justin,
good evening, Mr.
Mate.
Pipe.
Good to see you.
Hope you are well, buddy. Hope you are well.
Well played. Well played on getting to the Grand Slam. Really good stuff on Monday, pal.
Yes, 100%.
I did back you each way on the Tuesday, though, and that didn't really go very well, so thanks.
When the fun stops, stop. Look, can I just say, by the way, on this one, this isn't, by the way, this isn't me saying anything now about Justin because he's now watching us. Anybody can win that, but I just think. Thing is, I just don't know. That is a group that is a wide open group. Definitely a wide open group. That one. That's a group that I'd like to be in. I'd like to be in that group.
Gob, back to you. Who comes out of Group E?
I've got Snakey to win it. And I've gone Devon second. I just think when he gets the bit between his teeth, he's incredibly difficult to beat. But Ian White's run at the European Championship, Dirk van Dijvenbode at the Grand Prix. This is wide open.
Right. I'm going
completely wide open.
Obviously, it's always winner goes into one half of the draw, runner-up goes into the other half, and all. This is the group that puts the spanner in the works. I'm going Devin Peterson to top the group.
Hey?
And Peter Wright goes through as runner-up and puts the spanner in the works because he's not the winner like everyone thinks he's going to be.
Are you mental? Have you been drinking?
Over that short... Cherry Pepsi Max, does that count?
Well, no, but...
Over that short format, Devon is capable of blowing anyone away with his scoring. And I've got a funny feeling that's what he's going to do. Justin, I have new tactics
Snakey
for the
could
slam.
score-
Do you want to tell us what they are?
Yeah, please. Can we? Can we know?
No, I'm going Devon to win it, and I'm going Peter Wright as runner-up.
You're mad, but I love you. So there we go.
Right, moving on. Good luck with this. Absolute good luck with this.
Do you know what?
Group
You say
F.
that. I don't think this is as difficult as you're making it out to be. Really don't think it is. I'll be honest. Damon Hetter's going to win this group, and Glenn Durrant's going to be the runner-up. I don't see. Thing is with Jermaine, yeah, he made a final, but the thing is with Jermaine, right? He blows so hot and cold. He always loses heartbreakers on TV, and until that changes, I don't know. So Hetter will win the group because I think he's played the best start to the four. Glenn Durrant will come through because he will find a way to do it because that is what Glenn does. It will be close between him and Wadey. So close between him and Wadey. But I think Jermaine, the problem is with Jermaine, I haven't seen him win a big one on TV for a while, and he's got to do that in order for me to change my mind. So Hetter to win the group, Durrant goes with runners-up.
Go.
Joe, have you read all my notes?
No. I'm reacting the same as you have. You know that.
I have had to win the group, but I've got, I don't want to say my boy, but I've got Wade in second. I think Dozzer's run this week wasn't great, and if he's still on the comeback, there's not really a lot of time to put it right. He seemed quite down on himself on social media earlier, and him and Stuart Bingham, by the way, is a sporting bromance that I can definitely get behind because he dropped him a little message underneath. But I'm all here for that. Ballroom Bingham and Glenn Durrant, but I've got Wade in second.
Right. I'm going Dozer to win the group, and I'm going Hetter as runner-up. I think that Dozer will take out a 1-2-1. He'll do what Glenn Durrant does. He'll take out at 4-all in those group games. It will take out an absolute whopper from somewhere.
Agreed. Yeah,
so,
that's fair. I agree with that.
I'm going with that one. Group G.
I don't want to be rude, but this is probably the easiest of the picks that I've made. Gerwyn Price to win the group, Johnny Clayton to be runner-up. And if anybody of you disagrees with me, I'll listen to it, but I will tell you wrong.
And I'll be stood behind Jar doing exactly the same. Although Ryan Joyce was very, very good this week, and he's a very awkward player to play against. His finishing was very, very good. Good run at the Worlds last year, but I just think the Welsh boys have got a little bit too much for him when it comes down to it.
Clayton, the ferret really disappointed me a bit again on the going back to the Winter Series. It disappointed me, but I'll tell you what it is, PB. It's because he hasn't got our logo on the shirt for floor events. If we're going to get the logo back, he'll be absolutely smashing out the park.
Look, I don't think anyone. We don't disagree. Gerwyn Price, I think, will win 3 out of 3 and top the group. It's what he does in Grand Slams. Runner-up will be determined for me on the Johnny Clayton Ryan Joyce match.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I think Clayton wins it last leg decider. But I can make a case for Ryan Joyce getting out of the group.
Well, do you know what?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's Johnny Clayton against Ryan Joyce first up on Monday night or Monday afternoon in that first round of games. So
and is the schedule out now as well?
Well, the schedule's not out, but the opening round of fixtures are out, and it's 1v4, 2v3. So that game in particular is going to be interesting. So that game is going to be interesting because that one will probably decide who joins Gezi in the last 16.
Right, Group H.
This is tough, man. The way Ricky was playing in the autumn series, I'm quite interested to see that one. Do you know what? I'm going to go with, though I am going to be, my boy. Dimmy will win the group. Asp will go runner up. Why not?
Because you're wrong. I've got.
Fair.
That's why not. It's simple.
Okay.
I've got Aspinall to win the group.
Yeah.
I think Ricky looked good this week, like you said, but he's had a couple of teeth out, struggled a little bit. See how he moves on from that over the next couple of days. If he can eat properly and keep himself fit, it's a long couple of days. And I've got absolutely no confidence in Dimitri Vandenberg after his performances for the last 2 and a bit weeks. So I've gone Wayne Warren.
Wow.
And
that's a brave shout, that is.
I agree with Gob. After chatting to Wayne Warren during lockdown, he's always said, and go back and listen to the interview for Red Dragon, he's never been a big practicer. Never. So the lack of practice, I don't think, will hurt him. And like you say, Dimitri's performances at the World Cup haven't given me confidence his game is where it's at the moment. And with Ricky, there's a concern about the teeth out, no sleep. And you just never know. He could turn up and be brilliant because it's just the mechanics of his throw. If it's on, it'll be on. But if it ain't, it's not. And there's too many variables there for me. So from Group H, I'm going Aspinall and Warren.
Okay. All right. We shall see. Obviously, we shall see.
And just to look at everyone, just so you can see, we were all colour-coded, our predictions as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
well, I haven't got a different colour pen, but I have written champion and runner-up in each group. So.
Same. I've got
handwriting you've ever seen.
Always. So right, let's go through some of the comments before we move on to see who. Christ, you guys have been amazing tonight. There is absolutely hundreds of comments. You guys are amazing.
We love it. We love you guys. We really do. Thank you very much for staying up so late to joining the conversation with us.
Clemens and Cullen. MVG Clemens. Cullen Clemens. MVG Clemens. Again, a lot of people can't decide on that. That's a 3-way shootout by a lot of people's standards. Whitlock and Anderson, Gay with MVG. Cullen's getting a lot of love the form he's in at the moment.
And rightly so.
A lot of people still think, a lot of people still think Gary Anderson will come out of Group B.
It all depends on the injury, guys. It really does. That's the only problem. That's our biggest thing on that one at the moment.
Yeah. Joe Williams, MG carries on the way he's playing. He won't come through that group. If you look at the way he's played recently, it's not been as bad as what everyone's been making out. Before the back injury in the World Cup.
It's not MVG standards, though, is it? It's not MVG standards, though, is it?
The 2 short format games in the World Cup were both around the 102 average, I want to say, in the 2 singles game before the back. He averaged 102 against Lewis and lost.
Yeah, I suppose.
So, are we judging him maybe a little bit too harshly?
Well, no, we're not judging him a bit too harshly. We're judging him by Michael van Gerwen's standards. Like I remember coming on here saying that we should be doing that, but we shouldn't be doing that a couple of weeks ago. But at the end of the day, Michael van Gerwen is still Michael van Gerwen. Now, obviously, people have mentioned it in the comments. Look, Michael's come out and said what he said about the incident that happened today with John Worsley. John Worsley had his side of the story. MVG said the side of the story. That is, I no doubt, going to be referred to the DRA at some stage, I think. So until such time as that's gone through there, we know it's not been referred.
Yeah. None of us were there.
So until
we don't know.
The thing is as well,
let the DRA decide.
Let the DRA decide what goes on. If it doesn't go to the DRA, then we'll comment on it. But if it does go to DRA, then we won't comment on it until it comes to that. So we're not dodging it. We're just waiting for the DRA get their thoughts on it.
There's 2 sides of the story. We weren't there. We can read them both, and it's like it means nothing to us because we weren't there.
Absolutely right. So So there we go. Justin Pike's just come in the comments, by the way, saying, chuck a few quid on me to go through. Thank me after. Gob, there you go. He's helping you out now this time. He's trying to reimburse you for the money that he put on him on Tuesday.
Can I have my 50p back?
When the fun stops.
Stop. Do you know what? I've actually because of the way that the slam works, by the way, because obviously it's the group stages and all that sort of stuff. I've actually just had to go through the entire last 16, so I know which way I'm going. So I know, because no doubt we'll come and pick our final four and all that sort of stuff in a bit. But I've actually gone through the entire draw and just gone through who I think is going to win each game. So just make sure we know where we are. But yeah, no, MVG standards wise, hopefully we see that sort of resurgence in him, because darts is a better place when Michael van Gerwen's playing his best. It's just a fact. We like seeing good darts, and he's the best player at doing that.
Right. I'm going to have to make my screen bigger because I need to do what you do. Because, again, I'm not a fan of the winner and runner-up.
I hate this draw.
Should go into
I hate this draw.
But, right,
100%.
if you play someone in the group, you shouldn't be able to play them to the final.
Correct.
Completely agree with you. Completely agree with you.
I don't like this. So I'm just reading this right. The A, B, C, and D are all in one half. They're all in the same half, and then the others are in the other one. Correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You get A versus winner of A, runner up of B, inverse.
B, yeah.
Then they play each other again. Then they play C and D.
Yeah. D, yeah.
Yeah. Stupid.
City draw.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this at all. Right.
Well, I'd just like to say, I've got the final four. I've just gone through it while you were going through the comments.
I haven't. Christ.
I have.
Right. Well, you can go first while we look. So, final four, gentlemen.
Okay. Right. So, final four then. Obviously, with the way things fall, Joe Cullen, I'm saying, gets out of Group A, and I think he makes that. He's obviously in the quarter there with Whitlock, Searle, and Clemens, and I think he will come through. That Whitlock against Cullen in the quarterfinal for me. Cullen comes through. Maiden TV semi-final, if memory serves me correctly. I think, unless
match play. Gary Anderson.
Yeah, quarterfinal. That was quarterfinal.
Quarterfinal.
Oh yeah.
Jeffrey finished one with semi-final. If I remember, serves me right.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So yeah, where he will play the bully boy Michael Smith, who comes through against Jose de Sousa in a rematch of that of the Group C matchup in the quarterfinal. So I'm going to go bully boy to come through. And I'm going to try, and I'm going to really, really try and pull the drama, but there ain't going to be any. Peter Wright beats David Hetter, and Gerwin Price beats Johnny Clayton, and we have Peter Wright versus Gerwin Price in that semi-final. Oh my days!
So you're going.
So Joe Cullen against
and
Michael Smith, and Peter Wright against Joe Cullen against Michael Smith, Peter Wright against Gerwin Price.
Gob.
It's very, very similar. I'm not going to lie. I've got Cullen coming out of Q1. The only difference I've got is I've got Jose coming out of Q2. I just think that I've backed him to be there to get out of that group, and if he does, he'll find his way into the tournament, and he'll just keep going from strength to strength. And I've got him just edging Michael Smith, and then I've got Snakebite and Price. I just think they're far too good.
By the way, Jacob Brooke in the comments, thank you very much, mate. Completely forgot about that. Yeah, you are right. European Championship semi-final 2 years ago. Thank you very much. Completely forgot about that one.
As well, Justin Pike, why Johnny over Ryan? For me, I just think that the crest of a wave Johnny's on from winning the World Cup, the absolute high, being introduced as a World Cup champion, I just think we'll give him another level in this tournament. That's my reasoning. But it's first. Whoever wins that game.
So, can I just say quickly? Johnny Clayton just made a European Championship semi-final. He ain't no mug. He doesn't need Gezi. Doesn't need Gezi toward his hand. Let's put it that way.
No, that's the reason I'm going for Johnny, mate. Kieran's off. Night, buddy. Thank you very much for staying up till this godly hour to join us, mate. It's an absolute pleasure
Thanks,
talking
pal.
you through this impromptu Saturday night. So, yeah, God, were you going for Wright and Price as well in the bottom half?
Yes, mate, yeah.
Right. I agree with you in the bottom. Do I? No, because I picked different.
Why on earth would
so I can't.
Why on earth? What would you have?
You are?
Oh, Price. Do you have Wright versus Price? Of course you can. Of course you can.
Sorry, I don't like this draw at all. We're just going around the wrong way. They're still going to play each other again, aren't they? So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I went for.
You'd still get Wright versus Price, and you still get Wright versus Price in the semis.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm going right.
Quarters.
Yeah, so I'm still going Wright versus Price in the bottom half.
He wants to say Michael Van Gerwen so badly.
I just think if he comes out of the group, I think he will come through over the longer format. I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to go MVG against.
Okay, all right.
I'm going Michael and Michael. I'm going for the Michael semi-final. You're correct. I'm going MVG and Michael Smith in the semi-finals.
Interesting.
And plus, by the way, if you want to back MVG, you can get him at a ridiculous price at the moment. I'm not sure what he is with title sponsors Ball Sports, but if you hold on, I will tell you.
Yes, I think he's about 5 or 6, if memory is correct. He could go off third favourite, which would be ridiculous, really, when you think about it, with the way that he's been hogging basically the heading of the betting for the last 7 years.
Yeah. Officially, Gerwyn Price is now the favourite to win the Grand Slam of darts.
Wow, that's a big one. That is a big one.
Boyles, our friends at Boyles, still have Michael Van Gerwen the favourite at 7-2. Gerwyn Price 4-1. Peter Wright 9-2. Then there's a huge gap between them and the rest. So that just shows how big the gap is at the top.
Massively. Totally agree with you there. So who are you going for, by the way? Who are you going for? Oh, yeah, of course, other bookmakers are available.
Other bookmakers do have Gerwyn Price as the favourite. One of them, I think he does as 3-1 for Gerwyn Price to win a hat trick.
That's
of Grand Slam.
That's silly money for me. That's silly money for me. Very silly money for me. At this moment in time.
That's interesting. So yeah, but going back to my point, I'm going Michael in the semi-final. Look, Michael Van Gerwen might not come through the group, but if he does over the longer format, I fancy him.
But we've said that though since what? We've said that since lockdown happened. Since after lockdown, we said that if he came through the match play, he'd do it. Yeah, okay. 11 legs isn't necessarily a longer format, but still, 11 legs is still quite a decent leg. He didn't do it. He came through a best of 5. Was it a best of 5 setter against who was it? Against Whitlock again at the match play? Sorry, at the Grand Prix. He won quite comfortably, to be fair to Whitlock. If MVG plays Whitlock in the last 16 of that tournament, Whitlock, I think, will do the 3-peat on him. Because he ain't got a fear of him anymore.
Just look at that as well. Gerwyn Price, it'd be a huge achievement because it's only Taylor and Michael that have won 3 Grand Slams in a row.
Well, we're going to get to our final predictions and winner predictions now.
We are. So, from there, we have our semi-final lineup. For you, Mr. Jarleth.
Never called that before. Okay. So you talked about Taylor and Van Gerwen having the three-peat. They will still be the only two to have the three-peat because I reckon that Peter Wright does Gerwin Price over the longer format, over this format. He gets revenge on him for the win in the final last year. And Peter Wright plays the bully boy Michael Smith. I will keep saying it until he wins it. He will get to a final this year on television. It will be a really good game between Kim and Cullen. Really excited about that. So my final is Smith against Wright, Michael Smith against Peter Wright, and the champion of the 2020 Boyle Sports Grand Slam of Darts, taking his earnings, by the way, over 1 million, potentially, will be Peter Snake Bite Wright. I think it's his time. I think he will win. I'm just looking at the order of merit now. If he were to win it, he would go. He's on £999,000 at this moment in time. If he were to win it, he will go over 1 million, and I think he will do it. Peter Snake Bite Wright wins the 2020 Grand Slam of Darts. Phill Bars.
Mr. Gob, over to you.
It's a bit boring, this, isn't it? But it's same story here. Peter Wright is the champion after beating a plucky, but once again miscounting Jose de Souza in the final.
You'll go with Jose to make a debut TV final. I love it.
Well, I had him versus Cullen in the semis, and I just think Jose's quality. It's no disrespect to Joe. He looked very good. Number 1 seed at European Championship, and I'm backing him to go deep here. But I just think over that extremely long format, Jose will keep it steady. And if Cullen loses the range, even slightly with his action, it's difficult to get it back.
Right. First semi-final. Michael wins. Do you accept that as an answer?
No.
That's a problem then. I'm going Michael Van Gerwen to beat Michael Smith. In the bottom one, I disagree with you. I'm going the Iceman Gerwin Price to freeze the snake. Okay. And then in the final, I am going for back-to-back Grand Slam of Darts champion. I'm going the Iceman Gerwin Price to beat Michael Van Gerwen in the final and lift the Eric Bristow Trophy for a third consecutive year.
The only person to ever have lifted the Eric Bristow Trophy as things stand as well, thinking about it.
For me, the price is right, and I'm going for that man to win it three times.
If Gezi did win the slam, I don't think anybody would be surprised at all. But I think to win a title once is hard. To win it a second time on the bounce is ridiculously hard. To win a third time is damn near impossible. Only Taylor and Van Gerwen have ever won it is it saying in the PDC only Taylor and Van Gerwen have ever won a title 3 straight on the bounce? Any title?
Yes.
And answer the postcard. Answer the postcard in the comments if I'm missing someone.
It is. No,
I can't think of anybody else.
Do the maths. Of course it is. No one else has done it. Barney hasn't won that many. John Parr hasn't.
Gary's pretty close to the top. Gary hasn't come through. There's only won it twice.
Gary Anderson had won 3. He done back-to-back worlds, but
AD.
No, back-to-back worlds. That was it. So yeah, no, it is only Michael and Phill that have won tournaments 3 times on the spin.
And to be in that company, if Gezi does this and does this in this company, to be in that rarefied air just shows you how far he's come as a dart player. I just don't think it's going to happen. He will make the semi-final, and I think it will be a classic. But I just think the stake is firing at the right time. He really is, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be one hell of a tournament. By the way, quick one though, Phill. Callum has put in the comments, and a good question to be fair. I respect all of your decisions, but why are you not giving the ladies a chance? I think if they play well, they could win the group. Look, don't get us wrong in this sense. We absolutely think that Lisa Ashton, Mikuru Suzuki have got half a chance of doing bits because of the short format. Of course, we understand that. The only problem that I've got with this is this: Lisa didn't look great in the Winter Series. She didn't look like she was really doing well. So form wise, I'm not too sure. And Mikuru, as much as I think she's an absolute talent, we haven't seen her play darts since the World Championships and the BDO World Championships. Still tip, certainly on TV. So I've not had a chance to see what she looks like. And do you know what? She's only got to England tonight via Amsterdam. It's going to be one hell of a turnaround to get back on that stage on that stage on Monday. Jesus.
100%. Well, this time last year when she was in the UK for a week before. Jet lag's going to have a huge factor on Mikuru Suzuki. And like Jar said, the fact we haven't seen her since the O2 is a concern. She's only been playing competitive soft tip. So I had a look through her Twitter feed earlier, and I couldn't find any steel tip results or anything like that. If anyone knows different to me, please let us know in the comments. Because I was just going through her Twitter, what she's been doing and stuff like that, and I struggle to see any real steel tip. And again, like you say, Lisa, if she turns it on, she's magical. But the 5 days at the Winter Series didn't pull up trees. We're getting to that time, ladies and gentlemen. Any comments, please drop them in to the comments below. Any questions you've got, and we will answer them in the next 5 minutes or so before we wrap this up, because we've waffled for plenty on this Saturday evening for you guys. We've played in the Virtual World Cup, but again, virtual. I don't mean this horribly, but playing in your living room isn't the best prep for a major tournament, in my opinion.
No.
Yes, it will help.
I'm a 10-time living room world champion. I have career earnings of nothing in the PDC.
9. One of them's been referred to the DRA because someone accused you of cheating.
Didn't push anyone.
Outside pick hitter, yeah, of course. So yeah, that is our Grand Slam of darts predictions off the back of watching the draw with all you amazing people that have stayed up with us. But of course, it's question time. So any questions, you've got 5 minutes or so to get them in the YouTube comments, and we will do our very best to try and answer them. I appreciate it. It is 11:05 at night, which is why we'll give you 5 minutes. So a quick through. Callum, great question. Thank you very much, guys. Justin Pike, we all fancy taking MV Scout now. Agreed. I think you should. However, this form will not last forever, in my opinion. So enjoy it while it lasts.
Without wishing to be self-indulgent, by the way, I saw a great comment from Lewis Duncan earlier. Great show, this, lads. You three are absolutely amazing. You've had a hectic 5 days, and you're still doing this at the time of night for us. Fair play. I don't want to be self-indulgent, but yeah, you know what? It's been a mental 5 days, Lewis Powell, and it's only going to continue for 8 more straight days. Phil's going to be doing interviews with every single winner in Coventry from his living room, the poor sod. And we'll be here every day as well, doing a podcast for you as well as always on the show. We can't wait for it. Make sure that you should find us by searching the Online Darts Lounge and on any one of your podcast providers, and find us there every day throughout the entire time.
Yeah. So we'll start with the questions. Philip, as always, mate, thanks very much for joining us. What do you think will happen with the remaining international world spots? Well, your guess is as good as mine. They will try and fill as many as possible with the qualifying criteria. And then rule number 1 will apply. I repeat, rule number 1 will come into play.
Don't be surprised if a certain Queen of the Palace. Don't be surprised if a certain Queen of the Palace.
Many as possible.
Don't forget the highest rank max top.
Highest rank top. The highest rank Christopher Tysky will be in there as well.
Yeah, look, they'll try their best, and they've done great in extraordinary circumstances. So, look, let's just hope as many as the international qualifiers can get here, because the likes of Lawrence Alagan, Noel Malak, them have just absolutely illuminated Alexandra Palace over the last few years. So long hope that continues. Where are we? That was that one. Jacob, personally, I think given what we've seen recently, Wright will become world number one after the world's thoughts. Look, it's a straight. Yeah. It's a three-way. It's a three-way shootout, and pistols at dawn. And let's see who's left standing after the worlds. Can he? Right? Of course he can. Can Michael? Of course he can. Can Gezi? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So look, whichever one it will be come January 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, depending on when the final is.
Yeah. January the 3rd.
Yeah, outside picks for the slam. I like this one because we've. Yeah.
I guess Heta is probably the outside pick because of the way that he's been playing. He looks in good form.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a bit of a left.
Call Cullen outside pick.
I'm going to go Luke Humphries just because he comes alive on stage. Played well at the Worlds, won in the Premier League against Gary. I just think he comes alive on that big stage. So I think Luke could be a half decent outside shout. I don't know what you guys think.
He had a disappointing week.
He did. Agreed.
I know he ran into Gurney, but he just wanted to do a little bit more. He did a lot of talking earlier in the year, did Luke, about the tournaments he thought that being World Youth Champion should get him into. And this is the time of the year to back it up.
Yep, no, agreed. Lendl, player with the most unlucky draw.
There's about 20 of them.
Because, admittedly, I've seen this. Now, Lendl's, obviously, we all love his FDI work, but what he's been working on is a luck of the draw statistic as well. So based on your current ranking, your ability, your current form, the players you get drawn in and amongst. So I know he's actually got a statistic for this, but I can't remember who's top. I think he might have Ian White as the most unlucky player in the draw, because of the group he's been put in, his world ranking, and the form that the players that aren't above him in the world ranking are currently showing, I think is how it works. But yeah, this is an interesting stat for me. I like this.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Adam Hunt.
Do you know what? I'll say. Yeah. I'll go one. I'll say Lisa Ashton.
Yeah.
To be in the group with,
Lisa Ashton,
Smith
Adam
and Tysky
Hunt.
and D'Souza.
Yeah. Gob, any advances on that? Who you?
Ratajski. Ratajski always gets a bad draw. And he's got one again. He's got an absolute howler.
Yeah.
You can hear Mrs. Weasley yelling at him now. He's got that much of a howler.
A Harry Potter reference. You haven't had that one this week. Good work.
Ronald Weasley.
It's still the best. Still the best. Demon Heta is the new revelation. Demon Heta.
Yeah. Thoughts on MVG calling a fellow player? Look, we spoke about it earlier. Look, if you don't like someone, you don't like someone. Call them what you want.
But we've talked about it before. We can't really comment on it anymore.
Yeah, look, we've said, look, it is what it is. So, Justin Pipe, lads, it's past my bedtime. Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much, Stephen. Great show. Thank you, guys.
Mate. Good luck for. Good luck.
Yeah.
Lisa Ashton beat Smith the other month, so there's no reason why she can't do it again. No, completely agree. But Smith was on a bit of a downer, it must be said, when that happened. Ashton, without wishing to be disrespectful, that was her one real good day as well, where she went on a really well run day, the Autumn Series. So Ashton didn't look great with the series. Bully Boy's on the up. It's not necessarily in terms of we don't think we actually has got a chance. Of course we do, but at the moment Smith is playing at a level above, and that's what we think. And like I say, Lisa is a top quality player. We are not suggesting that she's just going to be cannon fodder, but from where she was to where she is now, it's just one of those where Smith has raised his game a little bit. So I think, you know what, Ashton could easily find a way to qualify out that group, but Ratajski and D'Souza are going to be tough.
100%. So there we are, just saying goodbye to a few people. Juanita, thank you very much. Jacob, cheers, mate. Lendl, superb. Dave, thank you very much. Right, guys, we have waffled for nearly 2 hours of... Go on, Jar.
Yeah, just quickly. Lendl's just put in a good idea, actually, saying we've got an idea for the World's Draw 2 this watch-along. If we can get it, absolutely. If we can get it on the Monday after the Torquay qualifier. So, yeah, but guys, thank you so much. I appreciate we've got people all over the world watching this. People who are actually watching this after midnight in Europe as well. So we really do appreciate you sticking with us, guys. Thank you very, very much indeed. We can't wait to be with you for the 8 days.
Yeah, guys, it's an absolute pleasure. Like Jard said, thank you very much for sticking with us. Again, just looking at the numbers that have been on tonight, you guys absolutely rock. Thank you very much from us all. We understand it's late at night or early in the morning where you are, but we have been Online Darts, the Live Lounge, and we will see you Monday morning for the build-up for, of course, the Ball Sports Grand Slam of Darts. You don't need to go anywhere else. Gentlemen, I've been Phill Bars, Jack Obigawa, Jarleth, and thank you very much for your time, everyone, and we shall see you all again very soon. Good night and God bless. Cheers, everyone.